once again to the Chris and Chris Show. 2 hours of love and laughter here on a Thursday morning at AM 1470 WCFJ in Chicago Heights from the Region Sports Network studios on Indianapolis Boulevard in Highland.
For the Region Sports Network, the only game in town.
Good morning, Chris Ramirez. I'm Chris Lanin, along with Mike Bonaventura. How you doing, Chris?
I'm great.
You're great. Brian Urlacher's not so great.
It's not a good sign when really your highest profile player takes a nosedive and has to be basically carted off the field on the opening day of practice, the opening day of a new regime.
Region Sports Network programming is designed to keep the local sports fan informed and entertained, and that's what we try to do. And I think we were successful at that previously at our prior frequencies, and I think we're going to be successful at our new frequencies. The key for us is getting the word out and letting people know that the only game in town now has a new frequency.
Somebody might have read about the blurb in the both in the Times and in the Post Tribune this morning. It was actually a little bit bigger than that when I wrote it, but that's what made it to the paper. The Region Sports Network, it's official, everybody. A press release, which you'll see later on our website, regionsports.com. We have signed a deal to broadcast local sports all year round with relevant radio, AM 1270.
We started the Region Sports Network about 5 years ago with the idea of broadcasting more local sports than what was currently on the radio. Ownership at some of the local radio stations had kind of taken a turn away from broadcasting region sports. We always felt there was a need for more region sports. I felt the market was underserved, and that's why in 1999 I came up with the idea of the Region Sports Network.
We've got a phone call here on line 15. You're on with Chris and Chris. How you doing?
We do a morning show, the Chris and Chris Show. A lot of people have heard of that show. Used to be on in the afternoons. It's moved to mornings now, 8 to 10. It's on AM 1470, WCFJ. We broadcast it right here from our Highland studios on Indianapolis Boulevard, the Region Sports Network studios. We invite everybody to tune in. We do region radio, or radio for the region, as a lot of people have been calling it. And again, that's on 8 to 10 every Monday through Friday on AM 1470, WCFJ. We cover all the local sports scenes and other topics as well. We have a lot of fun on the morning show.
I don't know that I want our faces on a billboard. We might have a few more accidents out on the highway.
Yeah, we'll substitute your face, Petey. How about that?
Listen for Petey to call in on the Chris and Chris Show.
Also, Friday nights, AM 1270 is the place. We've hooked up with a group called Relevant Radio, who purchased the old WWCA, which used to be out of Gary, Maryville, AM 1270, a step up on the dial. That's where we're going to be this fall. We've got a nice agreement with them, and we'll be broadcasting games every Friday from 6 to midnight. That includes a pregame and a postgame show, plus bonus coverage, plus replay coverage on Saturday afternoon.
7 in the Calumet region on the Chris and Chris Show. We're talking Cubs, Sox, Bears, high school football, Little League baseball.
In the past for Lake County is pretty much just one option, whether you liked it or not. If you wanted to hear what was going on in high school football, you had to turn to one place. Now there's a new option for that. So we want to get the word out and let people know that the Region Sports Network, the guys you've listened to the last couple of years, are still on the dial. They're one stop up from where you used to find us. As we're saying this year, turn it up a notch when you look for high school football. And that's what we intend to do with our coverage. We're going to turn it up a notch. We're going to have reporters on all various different sites throughout the region. It'll all get started at 6 o'clock with an hour-long pregame show. So when you're on your way to the game, be sure to tune in again. It's AM 1270 now. You got to remember that number, AM 1270. And we'll set the scene for all the games in the area that night. We'll have previews, breakdowns, things of that nature. Right around 7 o'clock, we're going to throw it out to the game of the week, and that's where Bill Hazen and Chris Lanin will be standing by, ready to take it. We've got a lot of great games on the schedule this year. From there on, after that, we're going to do a post-game show, call-in show as always, a scoreboard show. We'll keep you informed on what's going on throughout Northwest Indiana, not just here in Lake County, but Porter County, LaPorte County as well. If it matters to Northwest Indiana, we're going to tell you about it on Friday nights between 6 to midnight. The goal is to provide the best possible sports coverage here locally in Northwest Indiana, and of course to market ourselves to a listening audience.
Well, a tale of two corners out there in Andrean High School tonight.
One tackler gets loose, trying to get a block, gets one. Turns the corner, gets down to about the 30-yard line.
You know, when you talk about the morning show, a lot of people ask us, is it just high school sports? Is that all you guys talk about? And as hard as that may be to believe that some people don't want to hear just about high school sports for 2 hours, no, we don't. We dress it up a little bit. There's a lot of different topics. We deliver the local news. We have weather. We have local traffic. We have sports updates. We talk about what's happening in the local music scene. We talk about what's happening in the area in terms of entertainment. We'll touch on a lot of other music topics as well. It's not just 2 hours of high school sports. I don't think anybody could do 2 hours a day and entertain people simply on high school sports. You have to dress it up. And being that we're in the morning show, we like to loosen it up a bit too and have a lot of fun. And I think we do that. And so far here in the early going, the first handful of weeks we've been on here, the region seems to be enjoying the show. So we're going to keep at it.
Tuesday morning, 923-6259 if you want to jump in.
Well, let's get to that after traffic. It's 8:16 in the morning, and I heard about a bad accident out on Route 30 and 65 today. Maybe Lynn can tell us about it. Lynn, how you doing?
Well, when it comes to local radio, I think for a long time, the perception of local radio was that it was, kind of embarrassing. It had really gone downhill. So on the AM side, Northwest Indiana hasn't been represented very kindly, very well in the last several years, and we've tried to do our part to sort of change that. When we got started back on the old frequency, people would look at us like we were nuts. What are you doing on that radio station? Do you realize that nobody listens to that under the age of 90? And things like that. And people sort of made fun of us because we were on that frequency, and advertisers didn't want to be a part of it either in the beginning. We had a couple, but they were guys that we knew that were more sponsors than advertisers. They liked the message that we were putting out and the fact that we were region guys covering region stuff. So they backed it.
It's just like business as usual for the Region Sports Network.
I haven't had my competitive juices flowing like this probably since I was in high school. I am jacked up and ready to go every day. 5 o'clock when that alarm hits, boy, I can't wait to jump out of bed and get to work.
Kind of hard to tell when Chris Ramirez is happy and when he's upset.
Well, I think we bring a better background, a better knowledge of what's going on in the region sports scene than anybody that's out there in the electronic media. Our passion for region sports, our knowledge, our history, our background, our ability to deliver a quality product that we've proven time and time again for the last few years is what's ultimately going to drive people to find the Region Sports Network on the dial.
Doggone it, we're back. I'm so happy, Chris. It's the next station on the dial from where you guys used to go, so we're asking you to remember this little phrase. Turn it up a notch this fall.
We broadcast sports radio for Northwest Indiana. Check us out mornings 8 to 10 on WCFJ AM 1470. Again, that's 8 to 10 WCFJ AM 1470. And Friday nights we're doing high school football. Be there from 6 to midnight on AM 1270 WWCA Relevant Radio. It's a new home for the Region Sports Network. Turn it up a notch to AM 1270.